Hi, everyone. I'm Julia Reichelstein. I am CEO and co-founder of Vaulted Deep. I'm also a very proud Stanford alumni, actually twice Stanford alumni, both undergrad and business school. So it's very fun to be back on campus and see a lot of familiar faces. Vaulted Deep. So we are a permanent carbon removal company. We take carbon-rich organic waste and put it deep underground for permanent sequestration. So sometimes I like to say that we are fighting the world's largest waste management issue, which is too much carbon, too much greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, and we are helping to solve that waste management challenge with a waste management technology and company. So a little bit on Vaulted, we are a new carbon removal company. We just actually became a company in September last year, but we were sort of born a teenager because we are a spin out of my co-founder's company, Advantech Waste Management Services, which developed our slurry injection technology in the oil field waste. It was actually born out of the Clean Water Act, and my co-founder Omar developed that and commercialized that over the last 15 years, really in the oil field waste space. He now runs 6 wells across the US, but we're taking that core commercialized de-risk technology and applying it to organic waste and to carbon removal for the first time. So we're really kind of this two-pronged approach where we sell primarily carbon removal credits, and when we take that organic waste, we're avoiding sort of not only that carbon, but also that methane from going back up into the atmosphere. But we're also helping to provide what I would call a better solution to a fairly broken legacy waste system. So we think about sludgy organic waste. A lot of that goes to landfills. A lot of it gets spread on land to decompose for waste disposal purpose, where those pathogens go back out into local environments. So I'll talk about that in a second. But groundwater, drinking water, bathing water, if we go more globally, our solution not only provides a lower cost option for traditional waste management companies, but also helps sort of improve the social environmental aspects of their disposal. On the carbon removal side, we kind of hit these 3 points. So we're durable, we're permanent carbon removal, so we put carbon back in the same geologic formations that it came from. So the same geologic formations that have kept hydrocarbons underground for millions of years. We're injecting 3,000 plus feet underground. We're quite scalable. There's a lot of sludgy organic waste in the world. This is a number from an independent professor, Brian Snyder, which looked at if you took all the sludgy organic waste, how much carbon could you remove? 5 gigatons a year was his answer, which is helpful because that's the minimum the IPCC says we need by 2050 to remain under a habitable planet. And we're low cost, so we're under $400 a ton today at an existing facility. That's at a fully wrapped cost, that's not COGS, and that's proven out in our facility today. That might not seem low cost. Sometimes I get a little eye wiggle when I say that, but when you compare us to other permanent forms of carbon removal, think about direct air capture, often over $1,000 a ton. So maybe it's obvious, but this is sort of the high-level picture of what we do. We're letting plants capture the carbon, right? They're really good at it. They do it through photosynthesis quite efficiently. We're letting that carbon then be useful in the economy in some way, right? A cow eats it, a human eats it, somehow it ends up as sludgy aggregated organic waste. And then we really take those sludgy organic waste like biosolids, which is treated human waste, manures, food waste, ag waste, paper sludge, and put it deep underground for permanent sequestration. This is unlocked by the same slurry injection technology I mentioned at the beginning. This is my co-founder's technology, really developed in the oil field space. And what's great about that is that we have a lot of data, that it's safe, it doesn't leak, it doesn't cause earthquakes. The EPA recently issued us a comfort letter that they want to see more of this. And the primary thing here is getting really deep underground, picking the right geologies to make sure that that carbon is safely and permanently sequestered. And we take end-of-life carbon. So really, I'd like to target organic waste that are not having a productive use today in the economy, either because they're pathogenic or there's too much of it in one place. So I'm really trying to avoid organic waste going to landfills or going to be land applied where oftentimes that contaminated waste, when you think about PFAS, when you think about pollutants in other types of waste, chemicals and paper sludge, go back out into local communities, groundwater, drinking water, bathing water. That's a photo I took. I used to live in Nairobi for many years in the Nairobi River, where most of the human waste goes directly into people's drinking and bathing water in the Nairobi River. We work with large partners to do this. So we work with wastewater treatment facilities, feedlots, CPG companies, and help them not only lower disposal fees, but also get to their net zero or zero landfill goals. We have 2 built permitted facilities, one in Los Angeles and one in Hutchinson, Kansas. We just switched on the Hutchinson, Kansas one, and we're on track to do about 30,000 tons of permanent CDR this year. That may or may not seem big or small to you, but just as a reference number, the entire industry of permanent CDR has done about 25,000 tons ever, collectively. So we're really trying to do speed and scale. A little bit of our company history. We got our first buyer with Frontier, which is an advanced market commitment, about 10 large corporates and financial institutions. We spun off right after that. We launched, came out of stealth, turned on our first well site, delivered to our first customers, Rubicon Carbon and Shopify, are fully audited on an isometric registry. And then our big news is we just delivered our pre-purchase tonnage and signed a $58.3 million contract with Frontier to deliver over 100,000 tons of waste, over 100,000 tons of carbon removal over the next 3.5 years. That's Vaulted.